7 years in Panama and then life changed overnight. I had to move back to New York City as a single mom of two. Figuring things out in real time, this channel is changing with me. New York City life, rebuilding, and traveling back to Panama where my family still is. No filter, just real life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't uploaded in a while, and it's not because I disappeared. It's because I've been trying to find an apartment in New York City, and honestly, become one of the most stressful experiences of my life. So as you guys know, I have moved back from Panama back to New York City, and not because it was something that I wanted to do. I did what was in the best interest of my kid. For me, my budget for finding an apartment was $2,500, around that range, and I thought that, okay, it would be simple, show my pay stubs, my credit is fine, it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, well, that is not the case. The reality of the situation is between application fees, brokers ghosting you because you are not making six figures. On top of that, they either want you to have a voucher, and then if you do have a voucher, then they discriminate against you having said voucher. Because those are experiences that I have encountered with my friends who, when we compare and contrast our experiences, this is what they tell me. So getting your hopes up and then being rejected, it takes an emotional toll and another level of stress. Considering the fact that I'm coming from my place where I do have my own home, my kids have their own bedrooms, my kids have their own bathroom, backyard, and they were living a pretty comfortable life. This is where this video becomes valuable. So one of the things that I've learned, and I should have realized this, but because I've been gone so long, kind of in another place, right? So my reality is not exactly what it is now. I've learned about resilience. I think that when they say New York is the concrete jungle, that is exactly what it is. It is definitely a concrete jungle. New York, it makes you extremely stressed, anxiety level through the roof. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. One of the things that I was escaping when I decided to go to Panama. However, one of the other decisions that I realized is that I have to think smart. I'm not always going to be young for the rest of my life. I'm not always going to be able to have the financial freedom that I just had, because sometimes life. And I think one of the lessons and the biggest takeaways that I've realized was COVID-19. Being so comfortable and not realizing how life can shift in the blink of an eye. I think one thing COVID-19 taught me was to count your blessings and always have a plan B, right? I think that I was living so much in the moment and enjoying life, I never really had a plan B. So what I would do differently, for me personally, if I thought about it and looked back at, if I could see myself now, I would have been applying for those housing lotteries way back in the day. And not just even here, okay? I think that I would have been applying for housing lotteries all over, okay? Not all over, but mainly New York City and New Jersey, okay? One of the red flags that I would look out for is gentrified neighborhoods, right? I don't think that I want to stay in New York City. I'm a suburbs girl, but not two suburbs. I don't know if that makes sense, right? The thing that I love the most about New York City is the access and availability to everything, and the fact that I can see people that look like me. I don't want to be in a place where it's predominantly too much of this or predominantly too much of that. Because I was in Panama for so long, I love diversity and being amongst different groups of people where we form our own community. It's just a sense of comfort level. I feel like when you are the minority in certain areas, things can look a little strange, okay? And the way they treat you and like identity issues, you can don't argue with me, argue with your mother. This is just my personal opinion. I have went to see literally, I want to say over 100 apartments. I have emailed over 500 brokers or responded to ads. And when I tell you, it's difficult. The saddest thing about this whole thing is to see how the same people that hold the keys or have access to you being able to have these apartments or to live in certain areas are the same people that never wanted to live in said areas. The same areas that they're gentrifying, they would never want to live there. They would talk negatively about said areas or certain areas, and to see how it is being controlled and taken over, it is extremely sad. I think that after my son graduates, I don't think that I will stay here. I think after I graduate after I get my degree, I don't think that I will stay in New York City. I think the only thing that is holding me back right now and preventing me from leaving is my kid. I will do anything for my son. Well, my kids, because I now have to. I will do anything for my kids. I always want to make sure that whatever I do, it's giving them the best opportunities in life. And right now, this is where he needs to be for opportunity. Now, I know you guys might be saying, well, yeah, Panama is very limited on opportunities for young black males, or just young males, period. Okay? And so when it comes to opportunities, I need to make sure that I'm able to allow my kids the opportunity to excel in life. Amir has explored. He is extremely intelligent. He's bright. He has done all the things he has experienced all the things that I wanted him to experience in his adolescence year and younger years. And this is a season for him to explore and see what he wants out of life. And I would hate to be that parent that keeps him closed off because of my fears. So I hope this answers a lot of you guys' questions, because some of you guys, you know, I get it. You know, I'm on a public platform and I'm sharing my story. But I think that some people have fell in love with the idea of me being in Panama. They don't realize the reality of it, right? Especially when you're a mom, when you are raising kids and you want your kids to be better than you were, right? Is this to say that he'll never go back to Panama? Absolutely not, right? He's in Panama right now. It is definitely a way that he can see the world from different places, not just Panama or New York City. But I need to be able to have a home where he can call home. And so it's just been a real struggle trying to find housing in New York City. It's very discriminative, and it speaks a lot about the environment. It speaks a lot about the climate that we're in the United States, by certain individuals and certain groups. And it's sad that the same groups that are part of the problem are hiding behind laws that actually protect them, right? The same laws that they were fighting for are the same laws that Black Americans in this country were fighting for. Yet somehow one group gets more respect than the other. Okay? Don't fight me, fight your mother. So, with that being said, what have I learned? I learned to not give up. I also learned that what's for me is for me. And I also learned that maybe the apartments that I've been looking for, or the homes that I'm looking for, is just not for me at that right time. And I've also learned that sometimes your blessings, your rejections is actually your blessings. So something better is supposed to come along the way, and I'm open to that. What I would do differently, like I always say to you guys, don't ever, if you have a place in the States, do not give it up to move overseas, because life happens and you just never know. And another thing that you have to look out for is these damn scammers, right? These scammers are on an all-time high. And the thing about the scammers is they're not even from America. These are scammers from different continents. Everyone trying to scam everybody right now. It's just disgusting. Somebody tried to scam me. They had to know better. So you have to be careful with the scamming, like the real estate scams, how said people from different continents will post fake ads on these very reputable websites. You reach out to them, they sound extremely legit, and then all of a sudden they're asking you for half the money for a deposit, and you looking like, wait a minute, I ain't even see the apartment yet, so why am I? And then they're like super persuasive, like they're like, no, you know, at least, let me just, if you send a deposit, the apartment is yours. You know, a lot of people, they want this apartment, and you know how hard it is to find an apartment in New York. And I can see how some people will fall into it, just not me, because I'm not quick to give up money like that. So what advice would I have for other searchers? Honestly, I really don't have no advice, okay? I have no advice because it would be the blind leading the blind, all right? With that being said, where I am in the process, I still have not found my forever home. I did when I went to Jersey. I found an amazing apartment with amazing amenities that I absolutely love, and I still dream about it. But again, I work in Brooklyn, and I don't know how feasible that would be financially, how smart it would be financially, especially having to drive into the city constantly. I feel like that would be another financial stress on me that I don't necessarily need. But yeah, I am still holding on to faith. And oh God, I almost forgot one thing. Let's not talk about the amount of dog shit that's all over this city. I have never seen, the last time I seen so much dog shit all over New York City was probably like in the 80s, right? And I was young. But the amount of dog shit, like I went to go look at an apartment the other day, and as I'm walking to the apartment, I'm like seeing dog shit all over, like snow, dog shit, piss. I wanted to throw up in my mouth. I said, this was a turn off. I turned right back around. I said, I'm not going to see this apartment. On top of the apartments, these new buildings are so small. They want all this money, and they're giving you a matchbox to live in. It is ridiculous. I have tried Long Island, and I'm going to try Long Island to see how that works. I tried Queens. I went to Queens. I seen an apartment in Queens. I didn't really like it. Then on top of that, one of the apartments they tried to say it was a 2-bedroom, was in a basement. I'm like, you want me to live in a basement with a boiler? Child, if you don't get out of here with it. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do. I don't even know what I'm gonna do, guys, okay? I have no idea what to do. This video is all over the place, but if you have an idea on how I should proceed, if you are a New York State resident and you are looking for housing or have been through the process, give me some tips, because your girl don't know nothing at this point. I am just flabbergasted. I am annoyed. I'm just like, I don't know, guys. Okay, anyway, guys, thank you for allowing me to ramble, and I'll see you in the next video.